Hey everybody, I've decided to do another video. The last couple of days I've had some more recollections of the experience of having seen this unknown creature or figure or whatever it was. When I still lived in Georgia as a child, at various times my parents moved furniture, and one thing they definitely wanted to do was to create more space in my bedroom, so they moved my bed from against the door or at the door, and they put it at the window. And when they did this, I would be in bed and I'd be looking straight at the door from the house, from the window. So having done that, the night that I saw this creature, I originally thought that I had gotten up out of bed and I went to the window to look out. But the more I thought about the experience, the more I realized that's not how it happened, because when I woke up, I was kind of in between being asleep and being somewhat awake. In other words, I was conscious of my surroundings, but I was sort of in between, being somewhat sleepy. And when I looked up and looked straight out into the room, that's when I saw this figure of a human being standing at the door, which was locked. And then when I looked at it, my first impression, remembering about what had happened to me, was I couldn't move. I could not get out of the bed. And if anyone's had an experience of seeing an apparition or a spirit or a ghost, that's exactly what happens to you. You wake up and you realize either you're being watched or you're being looked at by something. And as you realize there's somebody right in front of you, a few yards away, first instinct you have is to jump out of bed, or to cry out for help or whatever. And I didn't feel that way, but I felt scared enough from my recollections that I did want to get out of bed, but I couldn't move. When I saw a ghost in the house, that's the same experience I had. I had absolutely no mobilization. I could not move my arms, at least not enough that I could push myself up or get out of the bed. And that is the reason why, remembering this entity that was in my room, I saw the outlines of what it looked like, that it had the round head that came to a point. And when I saw that, and I saw how smooth the skin was, and how it looked exactly like most people express seeing an alien being grayish in color, that I don't know, I just I feel like to this day that when I saw it, either it put me back to sleep again, or subconsciously it told me, I'm not here to do you harm, I'm just here because maybe it was in, of all places, our home, and it was looking over what we had in the house, and that was all. And so once it looked around and it saw there was nothing there except me and my parents and my sister, it probably left. I never saw any odd lights in the sky prior to seeing this. At least if I did as a kid, I figured, oh, that's neat, and then I never thought of it. But seeing this alien was definitely something out of the ordinary, that I never forgot it. And so when I remember what happened next, I just went back to sleep, and then I woke up the next morning and everything was fine. Nothing was different about me. I was exactly the same The room wasn't shifted around, or nothing was moved or changed or taken. There was nothing stolen. Um, the other experience of seeing, I won't say it's the same creature because it didn't have the same color that the first one did. The light from the window was coming in that first time that I saw this thing, and it wasn't strong enough a light that it would reflect fully everything. But you saw how thin everything was, the arms, the legs, the whole body. It had no definitive clothing on it. It looked just silk smooth all the way down. The moonlight reflected some parts of the muscular areas of the arm, around the chest area, the legs. And after that, this second experience that I had was a lot more scarier, because with it being across the room the first time, this time it was almost in my face. And remembering what it looked like, if you've ever seen the movie UFO Incident, where they recreate what happened to Betty and Barney Hill, that creature that they showed up close, of the eyes, it's like that, but there was no kind of magnifying lens there. It was just, you saw what looked like two moving eyes inside this oval eye socket. And to me it looked to be kind of yellowish blue, and that's as much of it as I can recollect. I don't remember anything else. And then I felt like I was traumatized by that, because if it's in your face, it means it wants something, or it's mad at you, or it's like it's really ticked off you did something to it. That's all I remember. So it's the same, it's that same kind of experience where you see it, it's there, and the first thing in my mind I always think of is that I wanted to wake up if it was a dream. And maybe it did the same thing the first alien that I saw, the first creature I saw. It puts you out. It makes you unconscious immediately. And that's all I remember as far as the experience. All of a sudden I was just, I was in bed asleep, or I woke up and it wasn't there anymore. And of course, this thing being that close to my face, my assumption is it was during the day. Maybe I was taking a nap, because parents always make you take naps when you're really young, like 4 or 5 years old or 6. And my parents did that to me. They made me take naps sometimes during the summer. So I'm saying probably when I had these experiences, it was probably between June, July, August 1973, maybe 1974. Could have been 1972, but it's around those 3 years, 72 to 74, is when I saw this. And it's 2 different dates. We're not talking about it happened the same day, it happened over a period of time. But that's all I can recount of what I saw that day or night. And it doesn't matter how many years has passed, I still remember it periodically. It just comes up in my mind. And I don't think for a second this was a dream. I don't think this is some kind of an impression on me of some movie I saw or a TV show, because what I can recount is that it was in my bedroom, because I can remember every part of it, and I can still visualize seeing this humanoid creature standing there at night. And when it's dark, it's really, really hard to see anything. But my parents like to have my window open, so you get fresh air, right? And we had some curtains on the windows, but most times she left those kind of partially open so some of the moonlight could come in. Then you wouldn't be totally terrified if you saw something you didn't recognize. But this thing was definitely human. It was not anything else in the room because it was standing at the doorway. And as far as seeing the creature up close, I'd say I was in bed again then too, because it's the impression you have that you felt safe when you woke up, but then you saw this thing staring at you or looking straight in your face, and that just totally, that wiped me out. I couldn't handle that anymore. When I saw it, I realized, wait a minute, I'm not safe here because this thing is in the room with me, or it's right there in my face. So these are all of my freshest memories of this experience, and I feel like I should update it because whatever this thing was that I saw, it'll always be in my memory, always, no matter how many years go by. I'm already starting to lose some memories as far as, in my life. There's some things that my mind blocks out even today of things that happened to me. And, in other words, your mind, if it's under a traumatic situation, it blots it out, and then you'll never have that memory again. And I've had that happen to me. But this thing about this humanoid or whatever it was, it's still there. Maybe if somebody was able to hypnotize me, it might bring out more facts or more details, but as far as what I can remember just from my conscious mind, it really happened. It was not something that I made up. It was nothing that I saw and by chance just said, okay, this happened and that was it, But in 1998, I went up to the house. We don't live there anymore. I drove down the street, parked the car across from the house, didn't go on the property, didn't go anywhere near it. It was right there on public property on the city street. I took a 110 photograph of the upstairs window of my parents' bathroom because their room was right next to the bathroom. And when I got the film developed, I saw an image of something that very much resembles this creature's outline. It has a pointed top head, and it has a definitive humanoid configuration in the photograph. And when you see it, you realize this thing is real. This is nothing somebody has made up. There's no way I could have faked it because I don't have any way of doing things like that. And the image in the window, it was not reproduced anywhere else in the photograph as far as any other windows having that same reflection. If that's what you might think it is, but it's not a reflection. This is something that's still in that house. The entity itself could exist on a different plane, sort of like a ghost, and that's why I saw it, because it's saying, I'm still here. Maybe it's not an alien, maybe it's some sort of an apparition of some kind that's in the house and it's trapped there, and that's why I saw it back in 1973. Same year, by the way, that I saw an actual ghost in our hallway. Didn't have any similarity to this creature I saw in my room. This was a free-floating apparition. It was pale in color, transparent, had a definitive figure of a human being in it. It looked like he was wearing a hat. So I know it's not the same creature I saw, because that was a solid form creature. It did not have transparency. You could not look through it. It was solid. And that's essentially what I saw between those two experiences. And the second experience, when it was kind of upset at me or whatever, that was solid too. It did not have any kind of transparency to it at all. So I appreciate y'all watching this updated video, and thank you so much